Greetings and welcome back, not necessarily to the game, but to the table. We're a little overdue for a review, so we're gonna do that right now. Hit some spots. Traveling back to the distant time where Robert was still with us and talking about, first and foremost, your confrontation with Baba Saga. Since there wasn't a whole lot of exploration, I'm just gonna ask for freeform thoughts, positive and maybe negative if you harbor them. And I'm gonna start with you.
About Baba Saga?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I thought it was really cool. Obviously, she's like this powerful mythic enemy that she'll probably have some inkling, about earlier in the campaign, because people talk about her. Like in our campaign, they did. People mentioned like a witch and stuff. So she was definitely powerful. Honestly, she seems a little too strong. Like, we barely made it out of there. We had to do a lot of tricky bullshit to disable the house early. I'm not sure how a normal group would deal with that house. It does so much damage.
What level did we fight her again?
7, 8, something like that. I mean, maybe if you're supposed to fight her at like 9th level or something, I could see that going a little better, but that house is tough. So yeah, but it was really cool. We managed to pull it out, and yeah. Overall, I say I like it. I just say, if you're springing it on your players, just make sure they're ready, because there's a good chance you're going to lose someone in that fight.
Understand.
Yeah. What about you?
Cool. The fight was cool. She was really intimidating with the fucking house. I mean, after that, she was still maybe kind of pain, but after we disabled the house, but less so. I mean, it was really cool being her though in the house. And, yeah.
And you guys did some cool things as well.
Yeah.
She managed to trick us, which is which is good. That's good.
What about you?
I would definitely throw forward that was a very interesting thing to come across, which was an illusion she was laying down of her in there already, which who's really going to expect somebody to make an illusion in their house of them when you're sneaking up on them? Like, yeah, that's really good, and I really doubt most parties, unless they've run this adventure or come across her before, are really going to expect that. Which, yeah, it's a nice little thing. Also, that house hits really fucking hard.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing.
No,
kind of mythical witch in the setting. I think it should be a question whether or not you're going to fight her at all, even though, as a player, that's not how one thinks. But she's strong enough that even if you don't ask that question, in retrospect, you can go, maybe you should have. Even if the answer is that I'd do it again. I didn't play this, but if I had, I'd have the same reaction. I think it's cool. And naturally, this adventure is very much about allowing people to potentially run across things that could be too challenging for them. Though, she's deep enough that I really doubt you'd miss too terribly much, unless you've got some really weird... There's a potential plot hook that could take you past some other stuff if you aggressively ignore other stuff. Which could potentially be disastrous, but it's a big part of the adventure. Or rather, what characterizes it.
I mean, if Grayla didn't die to Strahd, we would have gone and fought her at like level 5 or 6, which means we almost certainly would have died.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So, ironically, Grayla dying and Irina getting captured and us being forced to go to Castle Ravenloft probably saved us all from dying to Baba Saga.
Maybe.
I never thought about it that way until just right now. But
yeah, we would have had way less stuff.
Yeah, if we were level 5 or 6, wouldn't have had the Staff of Power, wouldn't have had the sword, the Lost Sword. Yeah, we would have had way less though.
You saved everybody.
It's true.
Assuming you watch this. I assume he doesn't. Maybe. I also think it was cool there's an NPC there. Which I, as a GM, would use it as a way of telegraphing. If for some reason I had players who are not you guys, who are like, yeah, whatever man, strength is a concept, I would attempt to have the NPC be like, nah, like, it's pretty dangerous. I wouldn't something, but I wouldn't stop them because I'm not that good of a GM. But I don't have that party. I have you guys. I believe after that, the next, like, big thing you did was Argenstolz. I will ask for thoughts. Also, feel free to include, like, a particular part that you liked room-wise. You didn't go to all of them, but you went to a decent amount. And if, for whatever reason, you want to pay lip service to a combat that was not the big plot one, feel free. The big plot one is pretty interesting. I'm going to start again with you.
Well, Argenvost is pretty cool with like the way it's set up. The whole kind of like, it really does give off a abandoned like fortress feel the entire time through. Giant spiders are a classic enemy, although having fought some of them in Castle Ravenloft, it was a little like we had that experience before, but you know, whatever. I will say that the weird bust that reflects your face, that was weird. I don't know what the hell was up with that. And the knights are really tragic figures. It just goes to show you how much Strahd has ruined this land. They're a shining example of people who have been fucked over completely by Strahd von Zarovich. So much that they're on his side technically, and that is just crazy to me. It really just shows you how this place warps and twists people, and yeah. My favorite room though definitely was the crypt. I thought the crypt was cool. Yeah, the crypt where the dragon's horde was like ransacked and stuff. It's kind of a weird reversal, you know, because heroes do that to villains all the time. They come in, they kill the evil dragon, they take its horde. Strahd did that to a good dragon, and it just makes you remember, it's like, oh yeah, there are evil adventurers too, who do fucked up stuff. And it's literally just the same thing that we do, but reversed. And yeah, it's like, oh yeah, Strahd's basically just a dickhead PC who got way too powerful. And that room kind of made me think of that.
I was starting to think, what if those adventures we came across in Ravenloft were actually like evil adventurers that were on his side at one point, and he just retired them, or they tried to get greedy or something?
Maybe. It's possible. I don't know their backstory.
That is quite likely. What about you?
I don't really have a fair room. You know, right? I remember. To be honest, I just remember the dickhead that's now serving Strahd, kind of, and then that guy that seems sympathetic, but at the same time is fun. That dickhead, so it's like it's really shitty. That's
yeah,
all.
that paladin guys. Bummer.
Yeah. It's just really shitty.
And how? What about you?
I would definitely say it's actually interesting going in there and coming across multiple revenants, but seeing them actually being affected differently by the land. Like, there were the ones that were just kneeling in the temple that we came across, and they didn't seem to have anything from the past whatsoever. They were just basically beefed up zombies that were attacking intruders. And then we go upstairs, and there are ones that are keeping to their past selves. Kind of. They're still being affected, just in a different way. But they're acting a little bit more appropriate to revenants. And I think that's an interesting thing to come across. Two of the same creatures, but they're actually functioning differently. They're being affected differently.
Thought about it, but that is true.
Mm-hmm.
I am a little torn because it's a cool place, and originally when I read through it, I thought that you could do the stuff with the dragon bones without going anywhere else. And had I not read through and forgotten that the dragon bones are elsewhere, I might have felt differently, but I was kind of looking forward to you going through it, finding out its tragic backstory, and then purifying it, only to find out quite characteristically to the adventure, no, it's not that simple. Hope has been taken. And it's maybe the only time I'm ever going to be disappointed that it takes the more difficult and dire route. It's more fitting, but I was awfully tempted to do something different. I didn't, but I was tempted.
Mm-hmm.
I even heard I saw some video where they had Strahd just show up with the skull when she was leaving. I was like, that's super cheesy and coincidental. No, thank you. Besides, Strahd's got different access to grind with you already.
Okay.
And Strahd doesn't trade. It crossed my mind. I was like, no, Strahd's not gonna trade. I'll trade you, because we're equals. That's my character. Like, no. That's super cool. I also think it's neat that they stash one of the spoilers, one of the allies you can get in there.
Yeah, it's neat.
They do a good job of squirreling them away throughout the world, which I guess since you're supposed to search for them, that's makes sense. But I think it's cool. I think he's rad, and I've told these guys, he's one of the 4, that if I were to cheat the results, he's one that I would consider cheating for.
Cool.
Some others being more obvious or not so obvious.
Still said we haven't come across Steve yet.
Yeah, unfortunately. After that, I believe the next biggest thing that you went to was Krezek, where you got a bit more of the town experience proper. So, I'm curious. I'm just going to say the people, because not every interesting person was an NPC, and not every uninteresting person was not. You got a favorite person that you met while you were there?
Are we counting the monastery as part of Krezek?
Yeah. It'd be a crime not to.
It's not a character we really interacted with, but the Water Hand. If that really was Sergei trying to reach up and grab Irina, that kind of changes the whole dynamic of Curse of Strahd, because that means that there's some place in Barovia that Strahd can't reach. I don't know if it's the magic of the pool, or if he's in some sort of other afterlife, despite the fact that everyone else's soul is kept in that, if you've seen the episode, Sasha found out, whirling hell vortex. I don't know what it means, but it was definitely one of the biggest reveals of the campaign so far, is that Sergei's spirit still exists and is trying to help Irina, or Tatiana, I guess, technically, as he would know her. And, yeah. That was the most interesting character. And I'm going to skip over and I assume Jeff will want to talk about the other person I would have named, so I decided to go with that instead.
That is a fascinating pick. What about you?
Esmeralda.
Really? Okay, not what I thought you were going to pick.
Me too.
That's
my
my
surprise.
I was gonna pick the Abbot. Abbot, fuck it.
Yeah, I know. I thought you were going to go on a rant about the Abbot being a fucking psycho and shit. That's why I skipped the Abbot.
Open the envelope, not the Abbot. Fuck up. Alright.
I do love Esmeralda, though. She's great.
Well, she was Visani, and she is mentoring Van Richten, which is another cool NPC. She has interesting tricks up her sleeve, because she's a wizard. And, she's, well, we don't know it yet in character, but, she has a disability that she has to deal with.
Out of character, I showed them the art and just told them that the leg is hidden. Because in the art, they show it.
Yeah. Her wooden leg.
Yeah. Stavak also has a little bit of story about her leg as well.
Which, hey, both of our Vishani comrades both have disabilities.
I did not know coming into this, but that is funny.
Until Jeff pointed it out, I had not realized it either. It's quite fun to like.
She could probably deal with hers a little bit better. I mean, you're with that perk and stuff you picked.
Dis.
No, you're dealing it way better than in the beginning.
Fucking good, solid pick. What about you?
The town was interesting. It's just that, in all honesty, nobody really 100% stood out, except for the sun. Like seeing that yes, people can be resurrected in this land, but it's showing that it is a huge fucking process that is going literally against the land, trying to resurrect people with the things that Sasha saw with the hands ripping at the soul of the kid, trying, no, you're not going to be resurrected, and him basically, yes, it's fucked up, but it doesn't make it any less cool that people that are resurrected are going to be scarred for life and basically have the permanent remembrance of that soul jar fucking thresh lantern thing that everybody's being pulled into, which again compounds more. This land sucks, and even in death you don't get to escape and be happy. You are just always going to be sad and just fucked up in this land.
It is
Unless you're survey somehow.
Unless you're surrogate.
It is truly a cursed land.
Maybe it was a trick, because you did do the augury, and it didn't even allow you to answer the question. It was just, whoa.
Yeah.
So
that was weird in its own way.
Maybe it was something else, but yeah, we don't know that.
Maybe if it was woe, because Strahd was going to come to fucking murder us if we let Irina get away.
Or maybe it was going to be woe because Strahd destroyed the lake. So it's gone. Yeah, I mean, other than the abbot, obviously, the kid, just because he adds way more impact to the land.
The abbot's getting super snubbed.
I thought he was going to do the abbot. I specifically went over the abbot because I thought Jeff was going to rant about the abbot because I know he hates him.
No, I do hate him, but fuck him. That's why I'm not mentioning fuck him. Well, not mention him as much, I should say.
There weren't a whole lot of rooms you went into, but I am going to ask, do you have a favorite part of your stay in Krezek?
Well, it was definitely when Strahd rode up to the first gate and was like, hey, come the fuck out here. We about to throw down. I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? That was the best part. Or the dream, but those are both kind of related. Him just being like, hey, fuck you, brother, and then bring my woman and book out here before I murder all of you. And Sasha being like, nah. I felt cool. I thought it was a cool thing.
That it was. You got a favorite part of your stay in Krezek?
Probably with Rabbits. With us two. Yeah, I thought that part was pretty cool. I mean, it doesn't outshine the fucking fight with fucking Strahd, of course, but
I don't know. We took Hornguard and 5 other revenants?
I believe so.
With just the two of us?
Along with a bunch of other Vishani wolves, potential werewolves.
Well, we ditched them, yeah. But
you outfoxed an entire enemy patrol, and then also succeeded in drawing them to you, and then also beat them. It was very cool, and a result of stuff that you guys have done. So it makes it all the more unique. Though Strahd's approach was also the same thing. So they're both unique. They're both cool. What about you?
Well, I mean, spoiler, I am going to pick Strahd, but the second encounter, because who the fuck would ever expect Strahd to fake leave and lay an ambush with himself?
Clearly I didn't, because I split up the party.
Literally nobody expected that. And yeah, I mean oh my god,
He literally pulled the Dexter on us. As soon as we walked away, he showed up and he was like, "Surprise, motherfucker!"
Yeah, no, fucking nobody expected that when that happened, and at the time it was dealt with, yes, at the loss of a very powerful item that was probably supposed to use for the final encounter.
Oh, don't forget the horses.
And yes, losing our main means of transportation is also a huge fucking deal as well. Yeah, like, who the fuck would ever expect Strahd to lay an ambush? Not really anybody. Like, yeah, he's super smart, but he's also super cocky. Like, why would I have the need to ambush someone?
And yet, there it is. It happened. Though it didn't avail him in the end.
No, it did not.
Though forbid it looked like it might.
I could say he still came out positive from that encounter, because, in all honesty, what did he lose? Nothing. The revenants that he brought, they're going to come back. He's not going to be vanquished forever, and we've lost an extremely powerful item.
I'd say he's lost a bit of face. You successfully repelled him, even though, yes, he's still going to regenerate, he's still fine.
Who's going to believe us if we tell
You
him?
guys.
Yeah.
He does not like people who stand up to him and who are unafraid of him, and any progress on that front is progress against him, even if it's not statistical progress. I'm going to back up because it didn't say it before. Esmeralda's my favorite, and I think she's super cool, and I love her. And I think the two fronts split confrontation with Strahd and the Revenants was my personal favorite. It's technically two fights, but the fact that y'all split up and it looked dire, but then you overcame one, I think proves your own strength or how much stronger you've gotten, because there are other points earlier where if you split up, it wouldn't have gone as well.
Oh, God.
It also just goes to show you how clutch Polymorph is. Such a good spell.
In the Bottle of Saga fight, you wouldn't have had Polymorph.
Yeah.
And she would... Oh, God.
Yeah,
Oh,
yes. Ed, you're seeing how bad that would have been.
Fucking power would stun anyone. And
It is a fantastic moment, and one that I wouldn't trade for anything. Now, I am curious. Are there any comments about, like, anything that you thought was not the strongest, or perhaps you would change somewhat?
No, I thought it was all pretty good. I mean... Okay, maybe Argon Volstold has a lot of runes that don't really have a lot going on. We didn't explore it fully, but when I was looking around with my Arcane Eye, there were a lot of runes that had not that much in it. So it's like a big, spooky, empty place, but I think it could be streamlined a little bit. I think how we did it was pretty good. Because I feel like we could have easily spent like 3 sessions in there and not have a lot to show for it. Maybe there were hidden magic items, although with Curse of Strahd it doesn't seem like they're anywhere outside of Castle Ravenloft, and I'm hoping the Amber Temple, because if a place called the Amber Temple doesn't have hidden magic items, I'm gonna have words with fucking Chris Perkins. I'm gonna be like, no, you don't get to make a place called the Amber Temple and not put hidden magic items in there. That's just fucked up, man.
It is a repository of dark lore, so it's a safe bet, I would say.
Better have some cool shit.
What about you? And it can be from anywhere, like any part.
Oh, actually, sorry, I do have one more I'd like to mention. Why does Baba Saga not have a spellbook? Is she a druid? Is she a cleric? I mean, clearly not. She casts wizard spells. Is she a sorceress? That's the only logical fucking explanation I can think of. But she's clearly meant to be a wizard, but she drops no spellbook. So what the fuck is up with that? That just seems like a way to screw wizards out of more spells they could get. I don't like that. I think it's pretty clear that she's intended to be a wizard, because hags don't get power word stun. Straight up, that does not happen.
or Cloud Kill.
I think some of them do get cloud kill, but
Really?
don't quote me on that.
There's
But I know
that's
they
fairly strong.
don't get fucking power word stun. She is clearly a wizard. Why does she not have a spell book? That just seems like an oversight to me. Maybe I'm wrong.
They probably don't want to give players access to high level spells.
Good to good stuff?
Yeah,
of course.
At least not through her. But perhaps I've said too much. Is there any part in this length? I originally was asking about Krezek, but I didn't open it up to anywhere else. So, any places you're like,
No. Everything's cool. I do second that spellbook thing. Fucking bullshit. Fighting a hard fight like that should be very rewarding. Not in just experience, but in some other aspects too. So, yeah, I second his. But
Maybe like something from a previous party that she's
it seems like the gear wasn't that much. Like, yeah, we broke the potions we were supposed to get from it, but even then, like...
Potions, I don't
You're
really
not
count
wrong.
as gear. Those are items, like used items.
but like the stuff that you got from her is not memorable enough that I can go, no, but actually, like I can't remember what you guys got.
Yeah.
Which means it wasn't that fantastic.
Some +1 sling bullets that I turned into +1 gun bullets, but like,
Yeah.
those have come up once. I think I fired one at someone.
It's not particularly.
Nope, I haven't shot any of them actually, never mind.
What about you? Anything that you thought wasn't super strong didn't work for you?
Now, don't get me wrong, the Abbey in itself is cool. I kind of would have liked some other type of indicator or interaction stuff with the mongrel folk. Like, they were there and kind of around, or the like the other inhabitants that were there, because I got the impression that there aren't just mongrel folk there, or the...
Okay, actually, I do have another problem. Don't call them mongrel folk. That is a weird and kind of racist fucking name. Call them like Beastkin or something. What's up with that? I don't get that. That's just that's just weird. Why are they called mongrel folk?
I couldn't tell you.
Maybe something from a previous adventure?
They
Previous
could
edition?
have changed it.
They were probably like dogmen at some point. If I had to guess.
Beastkin. That's what I would. If I ran it, I would change their name to Beastkin. Mongrel folk's just a weird name. Beastkin carries the same kind of weight, but it doesn't have the same sort of implications.
But maybe that's kind of the thing that they were going with what they are and how they came to be.
And I think Beastkin still works.
Yeah,
And in a lot of
works.
stuff
Yeah,
that's
I don't
written
know.
for 5th edition, like they clearly care about the language they employ.
Right.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure what you're talking about when you call it kind of racist, other than just like it vaguely sounded kind of harsh. But I'm sure that the people writing didn't just skip over it. I mean, did they? They're never going to see this. Anyone, if a writer ever has an AMA, they're like, hey, like, dog.
But I would
What up?
definitely say something that's like a little bit more, maybe not an interaction with them, but something that comes up with them a little bit more. I assume that's definitely the case if we were to go down to the basement that has the wandering golem that we heard about, that's acting like a guard.
Absolutely.
Then we probably would have ended up fighting the abbot, and then if we had to fight Strahd right after, yeah, would have been bad.
Can you even kill a Deva?
Yeah, you can. They're just really strong.
It doesn't just go back to their plane.
I don't know. They might work like demons.
I already mentioned my conflicted feelings about Archangels. This wouldn't really be an improvement, just me outing myself as I want to do. But I forgot there's a portion that talks about you can stay at places that aren't the Abbey in Krezek if you're willing to do like chores for people, and that could have been a fun negotiation that I, due to incompetence, well, no, due to memory, I was like, whoops. Guess they're at the interesting place first. But yeah, well,
Nothing wrong with skipping right to the Abbey. It is the interesting part.
If you care about the plot with like the burgomaster's family having like lost their final child, though it also works as a fun bit of detail as well. And that covers everything that I wanted to cover. Unless there's anything that is something you want to say but I didn't give you the opportunity.
Something I do just want to throw out there and mention that I thought was a little weird after like finding out about it. It's weird to me that Rotavio has the attack Sabretooth specifically for Vishani, has the immense hate and everything for Vishani, but his apprentice is Vishani. Like one that he's trained and obviously spent time with and has interacted with for a very long time. Like they actually have a good history. Kind of.
Well, Ed, that's how racists work sometimes. She's one of the good ones. And I don't say that as a way of poo-pooing Van Richten. I still think he's a cool character, but he is racist against Vistani, and it kind of plays itself out like that, right? I can't be the only one who thinks that. Maybe he has a good reason for hating Vistani, but he certainly seems to find them incredibly distasteful.
He told you that he's after the agents of Strahd.
Then why doesn't he have a tiger? He has agents that aren't Vistani. The first merchant we ever met was one of fucking Strahd's lackeys. What about those fucking witches in his castle? What about fucking Baba Lysaga? He ain't after her. He ain't after the druids or the barbarians. At fucking Yester Hill, he's after Vistani. He has a Vistani eating tiger. That seems to me to be a little more. I don't know. Maybe I'm off pace.
Maybe this game is treating Vishani like Drow,
Well,
where everybody has this thing of Drow, like everybody has this thing of Vishani.
Yeah,
that's all they hear about.
Okay, but the thing is, if it was like Drow, you could argue that that's justified. The Vistani, I don't think, deserve as bad a reputation as they have. Obviously, there are Vistani who are, who work for Strahd, but, like, look at their position.
I want to put out there that he is after all agents of Strahd.
He doesn't have a
He's
tiger
not
specifically to eat agents of Strahd. He has a tiger
Which
to eat Vistani.
Is an interesting point.
I find it
More
weird
interesting.
that he has a Vistani eating tiger, and I feel like he's prejudiced against Vistani people, but that's just my opinion.
Which maybe not. But I wanted to be clear, like, playing him, I tried to make it clear he's not only concerned about Vistani. And if he came off that way, then that's
And I don't think it's
my bad.
necessarily bad for him to have a prejudice against Vistani either. Heroic characters can have flaws. I don't think it's like... That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying anything bad about Van Richten, but I think he has a prejudice against Vistani. That's how I feel about it. Because the tiger thing is just so weird and specific.
I'm also wondering if he had that during his time of training Esmeralda. Like,
Probably no, because she didn't know about it. When I told her
Did it
about
come
it,
up?
she was like, yeah. I told her about it, and she was like... And I was like, okay, so she gets it too. In fact, Sasha was like, okay, I'm not the only one who thinks this. She clearly understands at least a little bit of what he's talking about. He has a weird thing with Vistani. That camp has women and children. I don't know. That's my opinion. I think it's an interesting flaw.
No, I just wanted to clarify, because
For the
it sounded
character.
like you thought he didn't care about any of the other enemies. I was like,
No, he does. I'm just saying he didn't train a tiger specifically to hunt down witches or druids. A druid-eating tiger would be really cool.
Would that be?
Yeah.
a
Druid-eating
magic
tiger would have been useful.
A magic.
The
hunting
druids probably don't
saber-tooth,
have any
something
innocent
that'd be
people
cool.
in their care. The Vistani camp does. It has a little girl that almost drowned. She's
was
gonna be eaten by the
Almost
tiger.
drowned by a trunk.
Yeah. I'm saying.
Oh god.
I don't know. It definitely makes for an interesting character.
Hey, we can just agree. This land sucks.
he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, he is. He just, strong flaws make a strong character, man.
Spoilers, he's another person I would cheat for.
Oh,
And
straight
the
up.
top 4.
No, Van Richten
David's top 4.
is great.
He seems a little hard to not recruit, in all honesty, if you tell him, hey, we're against Strahd and we're actively fighting him. Seems a little
It might
hard.
have a thing where it says that he only joins you if he's your ally.
I think he's one of the easier to recruit, but that's something that you can discover in the books if you play this, which I would. It's fun, it's neat, it's quintessential.
I can definitely see myself enjoying playing this one again with a different type of character.
Same. Either way, there's more to come. That does it for our review. As always, I'm Artist David Harper on Instagram and Twitter. What about yourself?
I'm Marvelous. You can find more of me at Lights Camera Initiative on Twitter, where I speak for some of the people some of the time. Additionally, you can find me every other Monday on the Tainted Lands channel, where I might be playing Luca at this point. It's about 4 days till I find if I'm going to be hung until dead, so it's looking like it's going to happen, but we'll see. I might be able to squirrel my way out of it. Additionally, coming next month, it will be Fuck Cancer Roll Dice, where I'll be rolling a game of monsters and other childish things for charity. It's cool. You should check it out. It's a good, good cause. Fuck cancer. Nice. I think that's all that's going on with me right now.
Cool. Y'all still the same over there?
Just definitely keep trying to stay safe, and I would definitely say stock up on stuff, because I'm pretty sure the PG&E blackouts are going to be a bit more rampant. This is definitely something.
Oh yeah, if you're in California, keep safe. Don't get lit on fire. We want all our viewership to live. And, keep leaving comments.
Like, even people that aren't viewers, like fucking, I don't know how the hell you'll hear this, but anyway.
Yeah, that's the kind of part. Alright, then we'll see ya.
Bye.